Xbox One, now $349.
Fantastic. Alright, just double checking on sound quality, making sure that's going okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the Lord JLaw 949 Twitch page. I am your host today, Lord JLaw 949. Welcome back. Alright, so today I'm going to be, I wanted to start off the show saying thank you very much for tuning in again today. Today's going to be a pretty decent long broadcast, 3-4 hours probably. First off, I'm going to start talking about some general news that came out in today's gaming industry. A while back, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago probably, Mojang was purchased by Microsoft. By that purchase, Microsoft ended up purchasing Minecraft. Now, Microsoft is already in talks a week after the original developers at Mojang ended up quitting at Mojang. Microsoft ended up telling them about they had to have told them about Minecraft 2. Notch and everybody else left. A week later, Microsoft announces that they're talking about Minecraft 2. I think they were. I think that's some of the reason why they ended up leaving. Just my personal perspective on it, of course. No facts behind that one, but by the way it looks like, that's the way it went. Destiny 2. Bungie is already in talks about getting Destiny 2 up and running. I was very disappointed to even hear about this yet. They should have this game set up for the next 2 to 3 years and be focusing on that and not worrying about another sequel later on. Very disappointed in that news. You guys have already had $500 million invested into it, made that money back, and then some in its first week of sales. And you guys are already talking about the next one when you guys haven't even figured out this one yet. I think you guys need to reevaluate the way you evaluate video games. Just going to throw that out there. Hackers ended up taking down the Microsoft servers. Really? I don't get it. Why? I bet you 100% of you fucking guys that are doing that are gamers yourselves. You couldn't have gone a different way about it? You wanted to screw... Or was that just a troll move? Maybe that was a troll move. Okay. Anyway. GTA 5 heists have officially been announced going to be launching in the spring of 2015. Date has not been set yet by Rockstar at all. It's long awaited, man. I'm sorry, but Grand Theft Auto has been out for 2 years plus, well over a year, at least by now. It came out in September of last year, right? Because it came out, it was one of the last games that came out for 360 before the Xbox One launched, and that was one of my last purchases, actually. So it was like late August, September, maybe even October time frame is when I purchased Grand Theft Auto 5. So the game's been out for a year, 14 months, 15 months, give or take. And they actually came out publicly and said why. And if you'll allow me, I would just like to read out the excerpt that they ended up getting quoted by, referring to why they were taking so long. And I quote, "Heists were a much bigger challenge to create than we originally anticipated. Early versions were simply not good enough and had to be scrapped more than once as we honed in on how we thought they should work. We're happy to say that the pack we now are finalizing is something that we are excited by and eager to release as soon as it's ready. We as a company have always been about trying to make something good rather than hitting a date. We apologize when this gets frustrating, but firmly believe that rushing out a second-rate content does not do anyone any favors. Hopefully you agree that yesterday's new trailer is a sign that heists are shaping up nicely, but we still need some time to fine-tune them. Because we need a little time to get heists right, we are going to give you a small Christmas gift to keep you entertained until we're finished with them." So we're going to get a nice little package. That's pretty nice from Rockstar. Very good. That's a very good business plan. Other business news for Rockstar, they've started hinting at Red Dead 2, if you haven't seen any of these pictures. I don't know if you guys are any big fans for Red Dead Redemption or any of those other Red Dead series games. It's a third-person open-world western, essentially. You're living out in the Wild West. You're hanging people. You're shooting them with revolvers and repeaters, and you got to deal with the natives. You got to deal with the wildlife. You go and find treasures. You got to go and wrangle animals. It's a lot of fun. It's something different outside of. It has the great Grand Theft Auto feel, but it's a western, so it's completely different. So some really good some very good news. I applaud all of those guys that made a very good gesture and stuff like that. Nero, what's up, dude? Thank you very much for tuning in. This broadcast just for you, buddy. Just filling in until it's time, and I believe it's time now. So let's go ahead and continue. Make sure that looks all right. Got to be producer as well. Okay. So I'm going to unsnap it off my screen. Today I'm going to go over Forza 5. Forza 5 today. As you can probably already tell, these are my this is my personal car list here. This is one of my personal favorite cars that I've ended up building myself. A-class car is where I ended up honing my skills for, and this was one of the best results I've ever had out of most of my builds. So 3,200, just under 3,300 pound car, so it's a little heavy on the heavy side, but it's 595 horsepower, 525 foot-pound of torque. So I can pretty much use the entire bandwidth and still get just about the same amount of power. The weight in it really helps if you're playing against a bunch of trolls online. It's harder for you to get pushed, and they will go flying more than you will. That's kind of the reason I ended up going with this car, and it's quick. I've taken lobbies with it, so is what it is. But today I would like to show you this one, which is actually my Merc Series class. Same weight, but it's up to 603 horsepower, 203 foot-pound of torque. Basically the exact same build, just with a little additional horsepower. My Merc Series car, this is where I have most of my tunes in. It's either that or else I will end up going over here to my Jaguar XKRS, which is my personal Merc Series car. This is the one that I race in my series. I'll probably end up using this one just because I already have tunes for different tracks. I got the gearing set and everything else, and I can show you the differences in between the two. First things first, I want to discuss the differences in cars. The reason I want to discuss these is because I feel like you need to be able to experience and make the decision for yourself. I say this every time I broadcast on Forza 5, and I'll say it again right now. Not every two drivers drive the same. Okay, so you can take the techniques that I can show you and incorporate them into your own style. You don't need to replace anything, but maybe do a different way, subtly, not a whole lot of change, and you can gain a tenth of a second off of a turn. And after 5, 6, 7 turns, now all of a sudden you're almost a full second faster. You're coming off the corners better. You're getting better speed down the straightaways. You can get better drafting if you can hit it just right. The techniques I'll show you today, as far as that goes, hopefully can better you. So what you want to do is take what I have to say and try to incorporate and try to make the decision based off of your skill set and what you know about how you can drive. So with that being said, there's 3 different kind of cars. 3. All-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive. You can go further into some different other styles as well. Not completely necessary, though. You want to talk about front engine, rear engine, mid-engine, and the mixtures of the same. Just ended up getting bombarded with text messages all of a sudden. Sorry about that. My personal favorite is rear-wheel drive across the board. The only time I would like to go with all-wheel drive is when I'm drag racing. The reason I want to go with all-wheel drive is because not only are your rear tires holding all of the horsepower, but now your front tires are pulling some of it as well, so it's trying to pull the car as well as the rear tires pushing the car. You can get a better hole shot that way. You can hold better traction when you shift gears hard with a high RPM. You might break them loose for a split second compared to if you did it in a rear-wheel drive car, you could lose it completely and never gain the traction back. With that being said, racing, I like to use a rear-wheel drive, specifically because the front tires are there for steering, so they're already going to be put underneath the stress from you turning the wheels. That's how the car turns. To add horsepower to that, such as a high horsepower front engine car, then the rear tires they're just guiding the rest of the car along. They really don't serve a purpose. So now you're making the front two tires do all of the work, where the rear two tires don't do anything except for carry the car. Hi Corey, thank you very much for tuning in. So a front engine car, I'm not a big fan of, just because you can't hold that traction as well as having all of the weight of the car getting thrown on the outside of that tire and still trying to be able to pull the car in a direction at the same time. It's very tricky. Not saying it can't be done. It can be, because there are circuits that they do race around in that use front engine cars, or front engine front wheel drive cars. You can do it, and that's fine. But you don't see those cars with a lot of high horsepower. You see those cars with 300, maybe 380, 390. Anything more than that, and it's just too much for the car. So that's why you always see the faster cars, NASCAR, so on and so forth, using rear engine or front engine rear wheel drive cars. It's just because you're distributing what the tires are doing, and you're using all four for the purposes of that you need. You're not going to steer with the rear of the car. You're going to steer with the front, so then you use a rear wheel drive car. That's just my thoughts on it. Take it as you will. But my personal favorites are front engine rear wheel drive cars. So most of my cars that you'll see on here are. I do have some Ferraris, the Ford GT, as you can see sitting right here. That's a mid-engine rear wheel drive car. But it's also a lot lower to the ground, and the wheelbase is a lot wider. So I have better handling out the door automatically, no matter what. I have beefed up the suspension and stuff like that, but this is just one of my experimental builds that I built. Anyway, so I'm going to be using my Jaguar XKRS, just so you can see the statistics on this. 571 horsepower, 529 foot-pound of torque, 3,100 pounds, just a tish over 3,100 pounds. It's got a 5.0 in it. This car is very quick, very fast. I found this car to best suit my driving style. The Merc Series has a total list of, I think, about 32 cars right now, and I've test drove them all. I've built them all myself. This is my personal favorite for me. Now, that's not to say that they're all the cars there that are selected are all within a tenth of a second each track. So you'll have one car that might not have the top speed on the straightaways, but it'll be able to outbrake and outturn anybody. So when you go to Long Beach, that car is going to have a bigger effect than it would, say, at Road America, where if you had a car that had better acceleration and better top speed, you'd do better at Road America rather than the guy that would do better at Long Beach. We'll go over that here in a minute. This car here, though, I'm just going to go with, and I'm going to start introducing you into some tracks. I'm not going to go through the Bernese Alps or Prague. Both are fake tracks. Both I dislike. I just don't like them. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to start at Catalunya. Catalunya Grand Prix circuit. I'm going to load the tuning setup that I already have tuned in. Cat. Load file. You're not going to notice a whole lot of difference in any of the stats. The builds are the exact same. The only settings that changed are the suspension and the brakes and everything else. So, finish this loading in. Damn, it's taking its sweet ass time. There we go. Okay, game options. Alright, just to give you a little sneak peek at what I can actually do, let's do max drivatars. Let's fill that up. Go for a full 6 laps. And I'm going to put it to unbeatable drivatars. Alright. I'm just using my Merc Series car. It's actually the bottom of the ring of S-Class. So this could actually be quite challenging. Extremely challenging. Let's just take it down to pro. Take it down to pro. 6 laps. Let's see what happens. Alright. Let me grab my remote control. Clap, you're a douche. You're a douchebag. Oh, Mr. Grinch. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you again. Clap is one of my moderators on my channel. He's also one of my friends I play with online quite regularly. Haven't seen you online in a while, dude. Where the fuck have you been, man? You need to come and jam with us. I'm gonna be playing some Grand Theft Auto tonight if you're down. I need to get some aggravation out, so I'm gonna go and hunting some people online. I think that's gonna sound fun. Just throwing that out there. Anybody that wants to tag along, feel free to add me on Xbox Live and jump into the lobbies with me. Lord JLaw space 94 or Lord space JLaw 949. Excuse me. My gamer tag. Add me on there. Challenge me if you would like. If you'd like to take on my times and trials, what have you. Feel free. You'll probably kick my ass, and that's okay. I'm not the best on the world. I always enjoy playing with my fans. Love it. Love it, love it. Alright, man. Let's see the starting grid. First things first. Okay, so they're all around my same area. I'm actually going to whoop their ass now, but okay. Top of the rung A class all the way through bottom of the rung S class. So that's where I'm at anyway. Alright, let's do it then. Got the gearing already set up, got a decent launch off the go. Oh, what are you doing? Climbing on his brakes. He's scared. Unfair. Go, go, go. That's how you take first place. Oh wow, front tires are cold. No grip in them whatsoever. It too hard. I was losing my rear end because the rear tires are still cold as well. Brakes are warming up though. Stopping easier. Ooh, he was there. Woo! Hold on to it. Bogging it down in these last two turns because I don't need to go into first. See ya. See, my gearing ended up redlining right at the end of the straightaway for me. Not an accident. And as you can see, I do use the brake line. The reason for that is because I have to have some sort of brake marker, and it's very easy for people online to take out the standard brake markers that are there. This is an anti-troll move on my part to avoid people that like to do that kind of stuff, and I just knocked the car into the grass. And made him go wide. My fault. Had no idea he was even up there. Losing it. Need to tighten up the suspension a little bit, just a little too loose in the rear. Loose is fast, but it's a little too loose for me. I need to cinch it down just a little bit, fine tune it. Ooh, locking them up, locking them up. We got it though. That's how hard I actually hit the brakes. You have to hit the brakes and just on this side of locking up them tires. That's your maximum grip. As you lock up your tires, you actually slide more. You won't actually slow yourself down much. Undo it. This is on Pro. I was on Unbeatable. The original way that they ended up doing it was set it up where the computer, and if you choose an S-Class car, they'll just pick cars that were standard stock S-Class. Somewhere in S-Class. Top, bottom, middle, didn't matter. I noticed that they've changed that now. That's a new thing. I had no idea that they even did. Don't usually run with the drivatars though either, but this corner's tricky. You want to stay all the way to the inside. Just barely touch that rumble strip on the left. Get a perfect turn every time. Standardly, I'd like to usually keep the RPMs a little higher. It can help you, but it depends on what turn you're using it and how you're approaching it. If you're approaching it correctly, if you're not approaching it correctly, it makes a big difference. 0.4 of a second faster for this lap. Way wide that time. This corner is tricky because it dips down and goes up the hill, then you go over the crest and lose traction easily. Be careful with that one. Dive into that one, dive into this one. Hard onto the accelerator coming off of that apex. Shift early into third, going into the last turn for the straightaway. Come off of that, trying to use more torque than horsepower. 0.8 of a second faster that lap. Don't even see him on my map anymore. When uphill, stay to the inside. Once you get over the crest, you can get on the accelerator and drift out. Get a perfect line. Stay to the inside on this, bog it down. Hard onto the accelerator right after the apex. Use that torque, not the horsepower. You'll lose your rear end if you use the horsepower, so keep your RPMs low. Nice drive off the turn. Dive into it. I was just a little wide. I was off by about a foot, foot and a half. Hard onto the brakes, swinging it wide. Get on there, kiss that apex. Out onto the rumble strip. There we go. Up over the hill, down into the valley, up and over the hill again, over the crest. There you go. Little changes in the road make a huge difference on where you can go and where you should go. Same with the rumble strips. The rumble strips can bite you in the ass if you're not careful. Very quick and easily too. Seen it happen I don't know how many times in my racing leagues. It happens constantly. They're almost 0.2 of a second faster that lap. Hard onto the brakes, down into turn 1. Over the rumble strips a little bit more, trying to straight out the S turns as much as you can. Losing the rear end. Not going to be a fast lap, but it was still kind of fun. Locking the tires up. Tire temperature's getting too hot? What is the deal? .230, right on the money right there. That's what the deal is. As you can see, I do have tire wear on. That's how I like to race. I try to race almost ultra sim. The only thing I don't really condone people on using, if they really want to, is simulation steering. If you have a steering wheel, it works a lot better. But I use a controller. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to try to use it with the simulation steering. You'll do snap steer, snap back oversteer, where you'll lose your rear end, corrective steer too much, and your ass end will come out and slap around you. Usually slaps the car in the process. What I like to avoid, your tire temperature should be around 230 degrees. You do want some give in your sidewall of your tires, so that way it rolls over bumps instead of bounces off of them. Along with your suspension changes. As you can tell right here, you can see on my camber levels, you can see my tire wear, my tire pressure, as it is at racing speed. It's actually at 28 PSI, I believe, before pre-race. And it builds up to this because of the amount of friction and the hot temperature on the tire wall, so on and so forth. Raises the temperature inside the tire and more cushion for the sidewall. It looks low at first, but it'll build up as the race goes on, and you want to find that happy medium while you're at full race speed. That's where mine sits at. Track is actually known for the left side tire wear more than the other tracks, because you take a lot more left-hand turns at speed rather than rights. I'm not entirely sure why, or rights, excuse me, over lefts. Left-hand tires wear more. It's just the way the track's built. So if you start doing endurance races, that is one thing you're going to want to pay attention to. Might want to take it a little easier around some of the left-hand turns and push it around the right. Or push it easier on the right-hand turns and be a little more harder with the left-hand turns. That way you can keep your tire wear balanced so your car's not unstable after a while. Hot for you? Tires aren't wearing, so I'm not entirely sure what the deal was. Still losing it a little bit too. Anyway, that's it right there. That was on Pro. I can put it on Unbeatable if you guys would like, but crazy hours at work. I'll try and game here some this week. I pray the Crew and Warcraft anymore. The Crew I did purchase, I did download. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to play myself. I ended up getting on just for a minute or two because I was talking to a friend of mine that wanted to watch some of the my Minecraft houses. So I just did a quick 15-minute brief last night, and I actually had 3 messages on Xbox, and then Nero here asked me to broadcast today. So that's what I'm kind of doing today. So I feel you. I feel you as far as being too busy, man. Yep. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. The event of results. My best lap was minute 55. Oh, yeah, that's right. Minute 36 for the Mercedes CLK GTR. Minute 17. Wow. And it had to have been because I was up in the front row right away. Start off with. Interesting. Anyway, so that was that. That's one of my favorite cars. It's actually one of my favorite tracks too. Yeah, I'll get rid of the drivatars here, and I can go over some specifics if you'd like. Really, my approach to braking, I can really sum up in a really quick phrase. First, that track that I would like to go to is Road America. The reason I like Road America is because of the long straightaway, as you can see right there. It's a 4.05 mile long track, and it has 2 extremely long straightaways. Run straight. That's just my personal preference. It's a very good practice tool. All right, no drivatars. Okay. So we'll start in, and I'm going to use the exact same car, the exact same setup, and I'm going to try to show you guys something here. A buddy of mine just found a 66 Shelby Cobra, signed tin. He's like, hey, it's cheap here. Told him to grab it quick. Okay, so we're going to spawn right in here. That's all we're going to do here, and I'll whip a Yui. I'm going to go back to the last corner. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what to look for in front. Okay, so as you can see over here on the left, there's advertising markers for Chevrolet on the left. As soon as you get past those, there's another one, and then you'll see the number 4 here. For those that are not aware, that is your very first brake marker for going into turn 1. It means 400 feet, 300 feet, 200 feet, and 100 feet. Those are there for you to judge when you should be braking to going into turn 1. So that way you actually make it around the turn and don't go flying in off into the sand pits. Now, with that being said, what I'm going to do is right here at number 4, I'm gonna hit my brakes as soon as I get up to the sign, like I am right here. Once I get to this point, I'm going to hit my brakes, and I'm going to lock them up. By doing so, you're going to see long black streaks going all the way down to where I stop, and it'll show you the point of where I stopped. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back around. I'm going to go all the way back to turn 1. And I'm going to do the exact same thing once I get to number 4. Instead of locking up my brakes, I'm going to apply them as hard as I can without locking them up. And we're just going to see what the distance difference. Can't race in third person, really. I really don't like it. I really do prefer. Get a better feel for the car and what it's doing. We're off. And 55 miles an hour, and the number 4 now. off into the sand pits. Right about here. If there's anything that we could actually mark for that spot, probably not. We'll just do this here. Put that tire mark. That'll work. So I slid all the way through that intersection. Slid all the way through. All the way through that. So now I'm going to go back to the same exact spot, take off from there, and this time I'm going to not lock up the rails. Here we go. Brakes. Oh. What did I save? I'd probably say about a good 30 feet or so. Hit that grass and it locked up my tires, so could have been better. Not really a good spot for distance. Could actually pick one of those different. So much more difficult. Very good. You know what? An even better car to experiment with. This is an extremely fast car to try to pull something off something like this with. My suggestion would probably be a B-class car or a A-class car, a lower A-class car. Those would actually show you a little bit better. You can see the difference of about 70 to 100 feet, give or take, depending on what kind of car you go for. And also, if you want to tune into your brake packages, you want to tune in any more of your driving rate or your braking styles, you would want to experiment with your brake bias, your brake pressures. This is a great way to learn and kind of fine-tune your own style. I did it myself, and it worked out for me. That's just not a very good car. If you want to use, I do have the GTFOR series car. This right here, my Honda S2000, 303 horsepower, 2,400 pound car. Not very fast on the straightaways, but it can go around a turn like a bat out of hell. I'll just end up showing you the differences between locking it up and not locking it up with this car. This would be a little bit better of an option for you. The other one I wanted to use was for the Jaguar XKRS. The one I wanted to use for being able to show you the differences in your cornering. Same exact scenario, but this time I'm just going to whip around and go all the way back to the last turn. Not a very fast ride. You can build this actually better. But this is a B-class car, so it's one of the slower ones anyway. But it is one of the faster ones I've ever built, and I have taken lobbies online with this car. But it doesn't have the horsepower or anything like that, so. Right. Wondering if I do have my Road America tune on here. I bet you I don't, do I? Alright. So, number 4, locking them up. Perfect. That far away from the number 1. Okay. Left black marks the whole way down. Perfect. Exactly what I was hoping to do. turn around, and this time I'll do it without locking the brakes up. Away we go! Zoom, zoom, zoom! If you guys have any specific questions you guys would like me to try to address, please feel free. I do have chat open on my computer back there. See how much distance I saved right there? Is that a appropriate judgment for you? It's probably a good 25 feet or so, and that's the difference between a good brake line and a horrible brake line. A horrible way to brake. I hope that's a good representation of how it is, how it should be. I even did lock it up a couple of times coming in, as you can see back there. I did lock it up for a split second, and it still skidded me that far. A long way slide, and it was only for a split second, but that's how fast you're going. That's all it takes. So, it could have been better, even, to be honest with you. I bet you I could have probably got 30 feet out of that. But that's just what I was trying to portray to you, was if you can hone in your braking, you can do even better. So use that and practice, experiment, and then once you figure out the muscle memory on where you want your trigger to be at when you hit the brakes, and find where the best lie is for you, then you'll be even better for it. So, moving on, I also have, Jesus. So next I will go into tracks and the differences in between the tracks on this game. I'll cover them all as best as I can for you. The Bernese Alps, as you can see, the Bernese Alps has a lot of twists and turns, not really any good straightaways. There are a lot of long sweeping turns. It's almost like a different version of a way longer version of a NASCAR track. I mean, the long sweeping bank turns. All of the ones on here are. You're gonna want something that has really good handling with really good acceleration. That's going to be the key for you on this track. So pick something that has good acceleration with good handling. Next, we got Catalunya, Circuit de Catalunya. Now, this is another handling track. You can do extremely well on the handling track. However, you can get a top speed car that has just a hair less handling, and it'll smoke you on the back straight and make up that time distance. So theoretically, you could go either way. I've seen it go both ways, but it really comes down to your driving skill, your driving set, your driving approach. So you're going to have to experiment with that one. My personal favorite to go with on this track is the handling car. That's just me, though. Next, we got Circuit de Spa de Francorchamps. This is a 4.35 mile long track. As you can tell, there are some good straightaways on there, but the altitude changes. You go up, you go down, you get banked, you're not banked. You really should go for a handling car on this track, because you can make up a lot of times a lot of time in the corners. Where the top speed guy is going to have to suck it up on those corners and make up for that on the straightaway. If they can't get off that corner right, they're not going to be able to catch up to you. So they have to hit every corner correctly, where you'll have that advantage over them. So my personal favorite is also handling. There are the straightaways that are on here, but unless they can make up the difference, but Again, it's going to come down to your personal driving style. I can outturn people better, but if you can't get around them fast enough, they're just going to smoke you on the straightaway. So keep that in mind. You might want to go for a top speed car yourself. Next, we got Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can do the full oval, as it would be referred to, I suppose. Four-cornered, banked, a top speed, obviously. Really good straightaways. Most people online use some sort of car that they can just ride the rail on and just hold the trigger down. It's one of my least favorite tracks on this game, just for that reason. The GP track is a little bit different. You're only using corners 1 and 2 from the NASCAR circuit. They're actually turns, 12 and 13, I think, for this 2.6 mile track. With this one, I would have to say I would go with a top speed, because these corners are not very fast. You're not going to get that big of an advantage of being able to outturn these guys. So you're going to want something that has really good acceleration and good top speed. Next on the market, circuit, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, Circuit de la Sarthe. The GP circuit, handling track. The full circuit with the chicanes, top speed. I have to say top speed with a very high dosage of handling. You're going to find one that can do both. The old Le Mans circuit, the 4 mile long straightaway, top speed, no question. Not entirely sure why I did that, but Xbox for you. So the next track, circuit, the Grand Prix of Long Beach. This is only 1.97 mile track. There's two straightaways on there. The rest of them are really tight turns. Handling track. My opinion, of course, take it with a grain of salt, but handling track. Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. There's only one track here. Handling track. Lightweight, very small, good horsepower, but you want something that grips in the turns and that can brake really well. Handling track. Next, we got Mount Panorama. Two extremely long straightaways on here, some tight twists and turns at the top of the mountain, but you can get so much speed going down them straightaways. I say top speed. You can outturn people in the whoop-de-loos that are up on the top of the mountain, but no, you really want something that's got some good top speed, because you'll make up for that and more down the straightaway. Nürburgring, the Nürburgring full, the 16.15 mile track. This includes the GP track, so the original Nürburgring, which is 12.93 miles, and then you add the GP ring on top of that. So it's 137 corners plus another 15 for the Nürburgring GP. Very long, very hard track. It has one really long straightaway, but you want something with handling and acceleration, without question. Handling and acceleration for both, for all of them. Next on the list, we have Prague. A bunch of sweeping turns. There's one decent sized straightaway, really. Handling. You need something that has a really good suspension on there, because you run over bricks and it's really easy to lose traction. Road America, top speed track. There's 3 long straightaways on this track. One right after the carousel, going down through Canada Corner right before you get to Thunder Alley. Nice, really long stretch of road. Really fun track to drive. Top speed. After Road America, we got Road Atlanta. This has one decent long straightaway on there. a few twists and turns here and there. You want something that has good braking with top speed, acceleration, top speed. Unless you go to the shorter track. The only reason you want to use that top speed is because that top speed is about half of that track. So that top speed is going to make a big difference. But if you use the club circuit, you need something that has handling, because there really isn't a good straightaway. So you need the car to handle. After Road America or Road Atlanta, we have Sebring, top speed car with a great suspension. You need to tune in that suspension for that one. Silverstone is next. I would have to say I could go either way with this one. Some really fast turns, but it has some really good straightaways to make up for time lost. So it can go either way on that one. And then the test track, Top Gear handling, Yas Marina handling. Favorite tracks on this game, I would have to go with is Road America, though. Now I've gone over the track differences. I've pretty much gone over pretty much everything that I can really go do outside of going by track and giving you some tips and tricks as we're going through. So I've already gone through Catalunya. Let's just continue that going on. And I'm going to grab my favorite car. Almost there. Come on, there you are. Alright, so got the track set up, got the car set up. We're going to go and just do a couple of laps here at Spa. And this is going to be a top speed track. There's a couple of twists and turns, couple of the corners are tricky. I'm just going to touch base on them a little bit. If you'd like me to go in a little bit more detail, feel free, let me know. Long Beach is super tight. You are right. They call that place the Concrete Canyon, because that place is very tight. But there is a race line on there that it's fun. You get really close to the walls though, but it's ton. I consider that my home track as of right now because I do live in Orange County, California. Long Beach is about an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, diving into turn one here. Tight, but you can get on the throttle really easily coming out of that turn because the corner is banked. You want to get on it as soon as you can because you got this straightaway here. You got this kink that you can see up here. Try to flatten out as much as I can. Oh, pushed it way too hard. Beauty part about this track is that you can actually kick it out quite a bit further than you usually would, and still keep a clean record. Just the way they have that line marked on there, it's kind of weird. Diving down into, I believe, down through the S's here. Work to drive out of the turn. Drive out of the turn. Tight around there. Keep it down there. Set yourself up better for this turn here. You want to be able to come off of that because it is a miniature straightaway. You need to get some speed up before this. Right here, I just dropped down to 4th gear. Kind of close to the inside there. Little apex turn. This one you want to keep tight because this corner is flat and slightly banked away from the apex. And for this one, you want to keep it nice and tight in there. And with this one, if you don't, you will drift out into that sand so quick. Speed up there, just kiss the brakes and slow yourself down just enough. Stay on that throttle because this is going to be one of the straightaways here. Not going to get off the throttle until I get up to the kink. Brakes. Side. Corner. My tires are still warming up a little bit too, so this next lap is going to always will be. Brakes and tires warm up. Okay. Full speed lap now. Better. Trying to straighten that out as much as I can, even though I got my right side tires in the grass. I really don't care. Able to keep it straight. Down to the brakes. RPM's down. That torque. Go. Any off of that double apex. Eight on the inside there. Go wide. Set myself up for failure for that second one. I'm out of it though. Here we go. Much better. Pink here. Myself up on the right side and the outside. A little bit harder. There we go. That, my friends, that's a lap at Spa. 2:28, not a bad lap. Not a bad lap at all. Oh. It's a little tricky, but once you get some laps under your belt, get some experience, fine-tuning the suspension for the tracks, then it's not so bad. But it just takes a little bit of practice, takes a little bit of time. I'm driver level 1066 in this game. Unreal. Actually 128.804. Really? No, I don't want it. No, hell. I accidentally hit challenge the ghost. Well, I don't want to challenge a ghost. So anyway, if you guys have any questions you'd like me to address, or any kind of questions you'd like to send my way, feel free to hit me up on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, on my Facebook page, the Lord JLaws or JLaws Funhouse. Go ahead and add yourself everywhere. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube. I'm always going to be around. I haven't been broadcasting near as much as I'd like to usually. The reason being is because I'm in the process of a cross-country move, and today was the first day in about 2 weeks that I've actually had a chance to be able to broadcast. And since I had some viewers of mine getting a hold of me all last night, asking me if I was going to be able to broadcast today, I really couldn't turn you guys down. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Next, let's go to... This is why I don't like to use the Kinect. Hate that it likes to do that for so much. Okay, so I just did Spa. Let's go to Indianapolis. I'm going to continue to use the same car. This time I'm going to change my tuning setup that I have. In case you're wondering, no, I do not have these shared. These are my own personal builds that I've been testing, tuning, fine-tuning, experimenting with. I do not have any of these shared. If you guys would like for me to share a specific tune, feel free to go ahead and ask. I can go ahead and set that up for you guys so you guys can download them and whenever you guys would like. This is, however, my Merc series tunes, and I race with these, and I don't like to share those. So that's just mine. But the Merc series I haven't raced in so long. We've only done the first season. Was going to do the second season this fall when everybody had a little bit more time on their hands. It just ended up falling through. I've been so busy with my own stuff. Now I got the cross-country move I'm trying to do, which will be taking place at the end of January. So towards the end of January, the next time I'll be able to broadcast as soon as possible is probably going to be around mid-February. Probably do the week after Valentine's Day on a Wednesday is probably after the end of January. So Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they use a diamond cut pavement, high grip, high traction, very low friction pavement. You can actually push the car a little bit harder than, just not by much though anymore. They don't really have that level of detail on the surface, because actually Indianapolis just changed it back to the whole inside straight. They were going to, and they changed to diamond cut pavement as well, so it's not concrete back here anymore. Diamond cut pavement. Nice and tight on the inside there, trying to drift it out a little bit. Carry as much speed as I can off of it, push it a little bit more. Tires are still cold though, so I'm just trying to be nice and intuitive. For those of you that don't use a brake line, as you can tell, I just hit the brakes until the arrows are really just starting to turn yellow. That's my cue that, hey, you should be able to take it at that speed right there. So as long as I position myself correctly, I should be able to take that turn at that exact speed. That's the fine gray area you always want. Just in case you aren't aware. I'm not getting enough air on the back spoiler. My rear end to keep grip. That's one of the things that you pay attention to while you're driving. You can see if your rear end stays behind you just fine until you get on the accelerator going around a turn. You can just feel when it starts breaking loose. If it's very joltish, it all of a sudden just kicks out, that's because you're putting down too much power or your suspension is too tight. If you hit the throttle normally and your rear end will all of a sudden just kind of kick out just a little bit, that usually just means it's not grabbing in quite enough air off of that rear spoiler in order for it to apply enough downforce. Those are the things that I notice while I'm driving. Things that constantly go through my mind is, this means I need to do it. All that comes with experience. You need to go ahead and practice and fine-tune your own cars by yourself, because then you're going to find out what your settings need. Nobody has a magic marker, nobody has a magic number that they can do everything do, and you're going to be just fine. No two drivers are alike. They can be similar. They won't ever be alike. That's why you see race teams that'll pick cars. They'll be driving their cars, and they'll have 2-3 drivers in there, and one of the drivers is going to have to make a bigger adjustment than the other ones, because his driving style is different to theirs. So the car might be a little bit more loose to one guy, but it'll be tight to another. It adds just a whole different level of dynamic. Started losing my front end. I didn't catch grip when I needed it to, so I hit the brakes just enough to slow my ass down. Was able to get the grip that I needed. Sloppy way to go around the turn. But just anyway, some laps around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hopefully, you can get a little better idea of where to go, how to approach the turn. You're only a level 78, Nero. Nero, please feel free to send me a friend request. I do enjoy racing with people online. I like all sorts of different racing games, so feel free, man. No one. I'm just blinking for no damn reason. I don't even care about winning any of this money anymore. I really don't. I could care less. It makes no difference to me anymore. I have like 43 million saved up. I have all of the cars in the game with all of the upgrades. It's like I have so much money I don't even know what to do with in this game anymore. I haven't purchased all of the expensive cars. I started working my way through it, but I just never got that far. So after Indianapolis, circuit, I'm not gonna do let's we're gonna go to the old Le Mans circuit. Well, one with the chicanes. We're gonna have a little bit more fun with this. I'm going to bring out my Corvette. Here, oh. I could, I suppose. This is for those of you that aren't aware, the Hennessy Venom GT, one of the fastest cars on the planet of the face of the earth. Faster than the Continental, or faster than the Bugatti Veyron. This one has 1,183 horsepower, 4,000-pound car. The Venom GT is basically a Lotus Elise with a longer body that has 1,200 horsepower and is only 2,400 pounds. So it's a full ton less. This is my drag car, actually. I built this as my race car. It's a sleeper race car of mine. This one here, no, it is actually my race car version. This one here is my drag car version. No rear spoiler on it, no nothing. It's insane. Not going to take those ones out per se, but I am going to take the actual racing Corvette ZR1 out. Very good car for this track. It loves the top speed. It can handle the turns. Have some fun. Yes. All right. So my back is killing me today, so I'm going to kick back a little bit and relax. Hopefully this is a good, alright view for you. Hopefully you can deal with it. Apologize if it's not. I'm not a very good cameraman while I'm broadcasting and playing video games all at the same time. But I don't really have much of a choice. I have a 7-foot-long beanbag chair. That's my couch, so that's what I got to work with. Alright, so do this. This one I have built up and tuned in as well. I've tuned in the suspension, the brakes. I don't think I specifically tuned it for this track, however, but nonetheless. If we're coming off of this turn, you'll be coming across some bumps. Jostle your car. If you're not ready for it, you will lose control. Line up on the left-hand side. Not geared for this track. Maxed out right now. If I was drafting up anybody, I would have lost all, or I would have gained that a long time ago. And the right this time, chicane kicks off to the left. Ooh. Already back up to 180. Love this car. It's so fun to drive. Go. Whee! Off the grass. Now up right after this corner, phantom hump right in the middle of this road, right after this turn right here, right on this straightaway. I missed it that time. You'd never see it, and then all of a sudden your ass end just pops up going flying in the air. Maybe that's one of the things they fixed. Kinda sucked. Your front tires would be just fine, but your rear would go flying up in the air. Turn. Ooh yeah. Geotog wants me to join a party. Really not much to this track. It is kind of complicated, but you just need to go in and practice. It's very straightforward. There really isn't many tips or tricks you can really give for this. Just hazards, watching out for where you need to be. You got some blind apexes for the kinks on the straightaways. Outside of that, though, this track is really not that complicated. It's actually pretty easy to memorize, which is why I think it's so easy for everybody to run the 24 hours of Le Mans there, because you can run it day or night, because you just become hauled in the memory. Actually, I just beat that. Nice. I just climbed 32,000 slots to 5,000 in the world off of that run. Oh, there you go. Now I just put myself up in the top 1% bracket, I believe it is. Ah, the 458 Italia. One of my personal favorite cars, dude. Mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, tons of power, tons of grip. Really good acceleration, really lightweight, compact, really good weight, but wheelbase. Weight ratio. The car is phenomenal. It's one of my personal favorites, to be honest with you. I wasn't even trying to do that, and I got in the top 5,000. Pretty happy with that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad you guys were able to sit there and enjoy that. All right, so next track on the list is Long Beach. Okay, I'm gonna go with full GP circuit here. To give you a better look at how I approach the turns, so on and so forth, I'm going to break out my Honda S2000. So that way I'm not going around the corners so fast, you can actually see my approach a little bit easier, so on and so forth. Put my Long Beach tune. There we go. One of my personal favorite tracks. I do enjoy the hell out of this one. It's very fun to play. Very fun track. It is tight. It's tricky. Couple humps in there that can bite you. But I enjoy it. It's actually really fun for me. I like that they had the drifting section in here too for those drifters that are out there that are fans of Formula Drift. I'm not a big fan of it. I've been toying around with experimenting at different setups, different horsepower ratios, different gearings. It hasn't quite grown on me quite yet. And away we go at a Long Beach, going down the long straightaway. It's a long sweeping right-hand turn. Now I like to kick myself off over here at the pit exit. On the brakes, it gives you a little bit better of a line going into this turn here. A little different tires than I'd like. Going around the water fountain. Nice and tight into the turns. Try to straighten them out as much as possible. Careful for the hump here. Bite you and throw you in the wall like that. I swing it out here. Gives you a little bit different line for that turn there. As you can tell, I was able to sweep it out a little bit further than I really even needed to. But just because of that angle that I had there. Stay away from those humps there. Stay off the wall. Get out as wide as you possibly can. Going down into vicious turn 9. Don't take this corner fast enough and you will lose positions. I really got to be careful with that. Go, perfect turn coming up to turn 11. Down the long straightaway again. Got to use a little higher RPM with these cars or else you're not going to get the power out of the turbo and get the full 303 horsepower out of these. So you kind of have to rely on the higher RPMs. And that is tricky in itself because then you're more apt to lose your rear end out of your car. Pumped it. Oh, come on, baby. Oh, see that? Just like that. All it takes. Very tight track, very extremely technical. I think that's probably why I enjoy it so much. Not take that last turn very well. Alright, they all can't be perfect. Not wired that way. So. Another good episode of Long Beach. One of my personal favorite tracks. Spent a lot of time tuning this car for this track. Yeah, could use a couple adjustments here and there, but as a driver, you need to be able to adapt. Same as a builder and tuner. Regardless, very good run. Very good run. Minute 31 for that car. It's actually a very good time. Let's see. Laguna Seca, I believe, is the next track. Yep, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Same car. I'll even use the same tune for crying out loud. It's another handling track. The only difference is this one's out in the desert, so it's a little hotter. And there's altitude changes. More drastic. Such as the corkscrew. Car really doesn't look like much from the outside, but it is. Very nice car. I'd love to get a Honda S2000 and build one of these in real life. This kind of track, you're going to want to use a little more trail braking. If you're not familiar with trail braking, it's you applying the brake and getting more rear brake bias out of your rear tires than your front. Now what that does is, in fact, it can keep the traction going on in the front of your car, but then you're using the rear of your car to help slow you down more than your front. That's the mechanical purpose of it. The reason for doing it as a driver is you're still able to apply the throttle, still able to steer just fine, and you're able to slow yourself down easier while turning without applying that extra friction base on your front tires. This can help you with turning and braking, going in and out of turns, more so than your front brakes will. Front brakes will help you with distance. If you brake over time, or if you have a really hard brake line you need to take after a long straightaway, you want more front brake bias. But if you're using a handling track, you're going to want more rear. but you need to incorporate that into your driving set. Experiment with that. Alright, first high-speed lap. Coming off the start-finish line now. Up and over the blind hill, left-hand turn, down the hill, down hard on the brakes, and down into turn 1. Double apex, this is where trail braking can really come in handy, is right there. Second apex. Want to keep it down low, end of the bank turn, stay right next to that apex. It slings you right out of there. The lower you get on that turn, the better off you're going to be, but stay off the rumble strips. On the kink there, you want to take the rumble strips. Undo it. Go. Down dive into those apexes on this track. They have them banked there for a reason like that. Use them. That corner there is an extremely tight one. Tighter than it probably should have been from my angle. Regardless, good lap. Oh, notice all of these laps I'm completing are clean as well. Except for probably the Circuit de Spa Francorchamps track. The very first opening one. That one is dirty. I'll probably admit that. Undo it. I think after I'm done with this, I am going to go and race some avatars for probably a little while, a couple of races in. Put them on unbeatable for you guys so you can witness my driving skill. It in action, not just me alone by myself in a track. And voila. There we go. Wasteland! Oh my god, how are you doing, dude? A lot of boxes in the background. Yeah, that's what I've been working on the last few weeks. Still moving across country, haven't done it yet. That's going to be taking place at the end of January. I will be moving to the upper Midwest, be broadcasting up there probably mid-February is when I'll be broadcasting JLaws Funhouse 2.0 is what it'll be officially known as. Yep, still been planning on moving, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, though. I appreciate that. I love that. Love that about you guys. Alright, you know what? Screw this. I want to do some racing. So I'm going to turn on avatars, drivatars, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to put them on there. We're going to go racing. Game options. Full drivatars. I'm going to put them on unbeatable. Well, let's go with a A-class build. With an A-class. Car. I'm gonna break out my SRT8. We're gonna go to Road America. 10 full laps. Right, here we go. Ah, this will be fun. JLaws Funhouse 2.0 hype! That's right, that's right. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I'll be broadcasting a lot more on PC games, I think. I'll continue to broadcast off of my Xbox Live, my Xbox One. I finally got my good camera for my PC build. My Logitech camera, it's got stereo mic on there, so I don't even need to wear a headset. You guys will be able to hear me just fine. Didn't even need a mount or anything. I don't need another mic or anything, so only thing I really need now is a good monitor and a new keyboard. My keyboard, the tongue that's in the back that holds it, that broke off, so I have shit stashed up under there just to keep it up. But, yeah, so here we go. Broke out my SRT Challenger because of this car I built. Oh, and they put me in the very front. Front running a Lambo. Nice. Work. You know what? We got 10 laps. Just slow down a little bit. Let these guys pass me along the way. Fast. Out of gear. Oh! Alright, I think 4th is good enough. Fast cars up here, so. Where are you going? Going? What the hell are you doing? Go. I just see some yellow car back there spinning out of control. I think I did. There we go. Got a good run for the straightaway. Work off the turn. Horsepower for the straightaway. Not drill that in hard enough. Actually keeping up with the McLaren. we go. Come on, baby, come on. Hold on to it. Ah, good. Almost went off in the kink. Oh, you got a better run off the turn. Ain't going nowhere though. Is that the Saline? That looks like the Saline. Where'd the Lamborghini go? We all caught up to each other. Little wide on that turn, but I was able to hold it. Come on. Letting them know I'm there. That's all I'm doing. Oh, I followed him off. I followed him off. Oh no, and he got caught up. He almost hit me. Already unaffected. Cleanest running drivatars I've seen. Hold on to it! Ow! Race so far. Pretty good for unbeatable. Alright, Wasteland, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Have a good night's rest, man. Where's he going? Got himself all sorts out of whack on that corner. Made up a lot of time off of that. Wanting to come into me trying to block it, I wasn't going to having that done. Got first place going into Thunder Alley here. 6 laps to go. Already 0.3 of a second slower this lap, huh? How the hell did that happen? Like that corner, I don't usually hit the brakes at all. I just let off the throttle a little bit, just try to maintain going around that turn. Push it a little bit if I can. Come on, baby, come on! 4 laps to go, still got a commanding lead over them. Go away very quickly. It's fucking slower that lap. Go. 0.6 of a second faster. Much better. Going the right way this time. Concentrate on my angles, making sure I wasn't braking too much or maybe not braking enough. That little bit can make a big difference in lap times. Here we go. Running it down the straightaway. Speed, come on. Here we go. A full second faster then. Much better. Almost lost it coming off of that one. Using our torque, not the horsepower. Reminding myself that even I got myself into that bad habit. And use the horsepower instead, because there's more horsepower than torque 9 times out of 10. Hurts you more than help you. Go. Come on, baby, come on. Over the hump. Stay on the grass. Stay off the grass. I could do a wheelie up over that hill. Relax. Tenth of a second faster than this lap already. Very good. Come on. My brakes just a hair too late on that one. Screwed myself for those 2 turns. Right, came out of it alright. Hard not getting myself into position where I need to. That's all it takes. Is now you're starting to get way slower laps by doing so. Gotta be careful on your placement, making sure you're getting yourself in your spots, making sure you're hitting your marks. Then pushing that limit. More lap after this. Second to last lap, I guess. Three-tenths of a second faster that time. Still 0.3 of a second. Upped it up to 0.4 of a second. On, keep it on. Yeah, I'm on lost time now. Damn it. Trying to just keep it clean, but pushing it still. Not work for me. Last lap. Really didn't have a whole lot of hassle in the front of the pack, mind you. This is all on unbeatable. Hardest difficulty setting you can make it, and I've been on this kind of a lead for the whole course of the race. There we go. That was a much better line coming off the carousel. Come on. Down through the kink. My favorite tracks, man. I love Road America. When this finally came out, I studied this track for like 2 days. Love this track. Such a fun one. Coming off the last corner for the straightaway. On his way down. Or JLaws will take the win. Perfect. Oh, good race. Good fun. Man. Good stuff. I appreciate you guys for tuning in for me. I am Lord JLaws 949. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me right here on Twitch. Feel free to check out any of my videos on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. I have them archived all over the place. Check out some of my highlights. Let me know what you think. You want to see something else? Leave a comment somewhere. Let me know. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I am your host, Lord JLaws 949. And until next time, always remember, life happens in between the frames, folks. And we'll see you next time, okay? Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you hopefully next week.